questions from anyone? Slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions from anyone? Hello? Is it okay? We can start now? Devanjan?
Yes, sir, we can start.
Okay. So, in the last class, we started finite fields. In the
Sir.
finite field, yes?
Sir, I have a question. You were telling the difference between access control and authorization. I haven't got a relevant difference. So can you please explain the difference between those?
Have you not read it properly? I told, give two examples. One is voting, another I told access to the service, which nothing to do with access control. I told you one important things. If you go to vote, electronic voting, you go to a server, you give your authentication, you get a permission to get a token. Token is basically a authorization to go and vote. So now with the token, you go to the voting server and vote it. Okay, there it will not ask anything that your access control or anything. So similarly, if you go to the Kerberos, when we discuss the Kerberos, you will find in subsequent class, you will see that the token granting station, you have to go, you have to get a token, we're using authentication and access control, then you will get the token, you go to the server, give the token, you get the service. So authorization is require extra things. I told categorically authentication and authorizations partially implemented by access control. So access control is if you go authentication and authorizations together, if you look into it, partially is implemented by access control. Access control only yes or no, allow or not allow. Authorization is extra things available. Not only access, it also can take some actions. So allow to take some actions called authorization. Okay. So authorization is extra. First, you have to get permission to enter the systems. Then you can take some actions. Authorize something to do. It appears that read, write, execution permission, which is one kind of access control. It appears that network access control, as well as you go to the file access control, you go to the other things, that talks about yes or no. Access control is only permissions, allow or not allow. Whereas authorization, not only that, it can do some extra jobs. So access control can partially implement authorizations. More details we'll discuss subsequent class when we'll discuss the Kerberos. Okay, so come back to, hope it's clear, otherwise you can talk to me separately, no problem.
Yes,
So
it's
come
clear.
Okay, so now it comes to the group. We are talking about group. Group we talked, abelian group, then we talked about cyclic group. When multiplication is there in cyclic group multiplication is, if it is the operations, then power of any elements can generate all elements. If so, then the element will be called as the generator. Inverse of a generator is also a generator. That is already we talked. Similarly, if it comes to addition, multiplication, repeated additions of elements or natural number multiplication with the generator or elements can generate all elements. Then we came to the ring. Ring is nothing but elements, a set of elements, that is non-empty set with two operation, addition and multiplications, additively abelian group, multiplicatively have a closure law, associative law and distributive law. Up to this is the ring. Once ring will satisfy the A multiplied B, two elements multiplication in any order is same, then it's called commutative ring. If other than the zero element in the set can have inverse, that is one, and other than the zero element, the multiplicative inverse, if it exists, or multiplicative identity exists as well as inverse exists, then it's called field. So if I look into this whole thing is field, then we started talking about the important things, that is Galois field, and we ended here. Galois field is basically talks about standard notations, a GF P to the power n. If n equals to 1, then it is GFP. So GFP is here. P definitely is a prime. That's the condition. If P is a prime, then it will be field. What we have discussed, P here it is basically modulo P, mod P. So a set of elements 0, 1 up to P minus 1, these are the divided, or you can say that residue 0 means it divides. Others are all possible combination, 0 to P minus 1 are possible, modulo P. Then it is a well behaved, it can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and it obviously it will be a field. What we found in earlier discussions, that non-zero divisors, which was happened here, non-zero divisors. If I multiply 4 into 2 become 8, modulo 8 is 0, but 4 and 2 not 0. That case inverse is not exist. Already I told you in earlier classes. So but if we take modulo prime, definitely we will have non-zero divisor. So non-zero divisor, and we will have the what's called field. GF to the P to the power n is called extension Galois field. P extension up to n. What it mean by this? If you look into field, it talks only one digit or bit or one element. When you extend P to the power n, we are now talking, instead of one bit or one digit, depends on the modulo 2 or modulo what is called P, that one digit or one bit, this will be n digit or n bits. So it should be extension. So any bit or any number can be represented in n bits. It can also represent by a few digits, you can say n digits. In those cases, that number or set of numbers can possible if it is n bits, small n bits. If it is small n bits, then possible numbers are 2 to the power small n, starting from all 0 to all 1, and they can also form a field. And if they form a field as per the Galois field theory, then it will be called GF 2 to the power n, because every bits either can be 0 or 1, and there are n bits, that is called n bits represent the numbers. So GF to the power n. So extension Galois field is coming on that way. We will discuss in details. So let's take example of GF7. GF7 additive modulo 7. So 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 1, and so on up to 6. Similarly, 0 plus 0 up to the, so just addition, we can get it. Whenever there will be 4 plus 3, 7, modulo 7 is 0, and you can get additively this. And by additions, we can prove this is, this table, we can prove everything is closure law, associative law, then inverse is 0, then identity element is 0, inverse is 1, inverse is 1's inverse is 6, 6 inverse is 1, and like this, the places that 0 available other than the first row and first column indicate that corresponding two elements are inverse of each other. And also we can prove it is abelian group, 2 plus 3 equal to 3 plus 2. So group, abelian group property for addition, it holds. Now if you go to multiplications, modulo 7, the first row and first column definitely will be 0 because multiplied by 0 is 0. The other places other than the first row and first column, you cannot see anywhere 0. And because non-zero divisor, or it is non-zero divisor, zero divisor doesn't exist, means multiplication of any two elements doesn't lead to 0 if they are non-zero. So no zero divisors. So 1 into this, you will get 1 into column, every element will be same. So 1 is definitely inverse element, identity element. 1 is definitely identity element. Now look into the inverse. Except the first row, second row, first column, second row, second column. First row, first column, we have to forget in terms of in case of multiplication, because 0 multiplied by anything has no meaning. So basically what we are talking is other than 0, all elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 can form a group. That is we are looking. So if you look into this, the remaining 6 by 6 matrix, table, this tabular form, we can find here the second row and the second column, indicating that 1 definitely identity element. And if I go other than the first, second row and first, second column, remaining places, each and every row and column, we have 1. So we can say inverse exists. 2's inverse is inverse of 2 would be 2 into 4, 8. This is 1. Similarly, inverse of 3 is 5. Inverse of 6 is itself. So inverse exists. So that is tabulated here. This is tabulated here. W, that is additive inverse and multiplicative inverse. And it also satisfies the distributive law. So it is definitely Galois field 7. Every elements 0 to 7 can be generated either multiplication or additions, and finally will lead to same field. Addition multiplication leads to this. This part we will not talk. Now we will talk about the polynomial arithmetic. When we reach to the polynomial arithmetic, any number look into the any number. As I mentioned, 10-digit number, I can represent 10 digit in decimal, I can represent in polynomial also. So the least significant digit is A0, next digit is A1, next digit and so on, and the last digit will be an minus 1, because I mentioned n digit. Here it is showing n plus 1 digit, and polynomial, if I represent these things, their position respect, x to the power 0 is the least significant digit, x to the power 1 the 10th digit, and continue till again n plus 1th digit. So I can represent in terms of polynomial a number. Now, if I do polynomial arithmetic, if I do modular arithmetic, whatever I do, finally result will be same. That is our discussion is coming up shortly. So several alternatives available. So ordinary polynomial arithmetic we can do. Two polynomial I can add it. I can get a new polynomial. Similarly, polynomial with coordinate modulo p is also possible. What is modulo p? Modulo p is every coefficients of the polynomial or every dispositions can remain fixed. That is, if sometime it will become more than 10, ag one polynomial I added the least significant digit, another polynomial least significant digit. If I add it, what I can get? There is a possibility of 2-digit number. One digit added, 2 digit. But if I do modulo p, it will back to the 1 digit only. That is possible. Similarly, if I do whole polynomial, can I divide it by modulo x, mx? I can divide this polynomial by another polynomial, and obviously I will get residue. So these are the things possible. Let us see. First, ordinary polynomial arithmetic. I have fx, x to the power 3, x square plus 2. Another gx is g, x square minus x plus 1. If I add it, I can do it. If I subtract it, I can subtract it. I can multiply it. I can do, but here is no restriction how much degree it will be there, and each and every coefficient of x and coefficient of y, x square or x to the power 5 or x to the power 0, there is no restrictions. But we will not go by this polynomial. We will go by the polynomial where coefficients are restricted. What it mean by coefficients are restricted? Coefficients follow GFP. So if coefficient follow GFP, the same power, if I add two same power coefficients, the result will be a. For example, here we are showing this example. If you look, x square plus x square is 2x square. But if I go modulo 2 mod 2, it is 0. So every coefficients should not go beyond p minus 1. 0 to p minus 1, that is GFP. So this is multiplications. So sorry, additions. But we do not have restrictions, multiplications. What we put restrictions? We put restrictions that coefficient of the each and every degree or every digit positions, you can say the modulo p. So modulo p forced to that coefficient never go beyond p. For example, if GF2 to the power, if GFP2, GF2, GF2 means I have a set of elements only 0 and 1. This set of elements, addition, multiplication, it satisfies the Galois field property, and it is a field and it satisfies. So it is Galois field 2, and elements are 0 and 1. And if it is there are n bits, then I can represent x to the power 0, that is the least significant bit, can have, may not have, that is, we can say a0, then next bit a1 x to the power 1, next bit a2 x to the power 2, and a0, a1, a2 can be either 0 or 1. So if I add two polynomial in this scenario, whenever there will be addition, the result will be mod 2 in every coefficient. For example, x square plus x square, if I add it, I will get 2x square. 2 is to be mod 2, so we will get 0. So ultimately this is, but if I multiply, when I multiply, I will get degree consecutive x to the power 5, 3x square is x to the power 5, x square, this is x square will come. So x square, like this, I will get total 3 plus 3, 6 term. If I add individually, it will cancel out and finally we will get this much. Now we are coming to one important phenomena, it's called modular polynomial arithmetic. Fx, a polynomial, can be written as qx multiplied by gx plus rx. What is gx? I divide fx by gx. What I'll get? I'll get a polynomial which is called quotient polynomial. Another is called remainder polynomial rx. So a polynomial can be divided by one of the polynomial, I can get the residue. So residue polynomial can be written as fx mod gx. If no remainder, gx divide fx. So gx has no divisor other than 1 and itself, definitely irreducible polynomial or prime polynomial. Now I am switching from here to some discussions on Notepad. So you can see I have written there is primitive polynomial, and what we discussed is that irreducible polynomial or prime polynomial. What it mean by irreducible polynomial or prime polynomial? A polynomial can divide by itself or by 1. No other polynomial up to that degree cannot divide the polynomial. So if gx has no divisor other than itself and 1, we call irreducible polynomial or prime polynomial. Now I am introducing one which is not available in book, primitive polynomial of degree n. Primitive polynomial is nothing but it's an irreducible polynomial. It divides a minimum degree polynomial where m should be 2 to the power n minus 1. By the way, I forgot to mention, I am talking about coefficients in GF2. If it is GFP, then m will become greater than equal to p to the power n minus 1. But this is security course. I don't want to go to mathematics. I kept it simplified because we work on GF2 to the power 1. That means every bit positions will be 0 and 1, and there will be n bits to represent the any number or any elements, n bit elements. So my discussion remain within this periphery, within this boundary. So what I wanted to say that primitive polynomial of degree n is irreducible and it divides a minimum degree polynomial m, divisible polynomial where m greater than equal to 2 to the power n minus 1. I only told that this is what I am talking is GF 2 to the power n algebra. If anyone wants to read, I can have separate discussion. This is GF 2 to the power n algebra I am talking. M should be 2 to the power n minus 1. For example, you can see x to px, that is x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. If I look, n is 3, m 2 to the power 3 minus 1, that is 7, x to the power 7 plus 1 can be written as x to the power 3 plus x plus 1, x to the power 3 plus x square plus 1, x plus 1. Please remember, all minus 1 is here plus 1. Similarly, 1 plus 1 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 and 1 plus 0 is 1, and there is no minus because minus is 1. So x to the power 7 plus 1 can be written as x to the power 3 plus x plus 1 into x to the power 3 plus x square plus 1 plus x plus 1. Now, if what it means, if I divide x to the power 7 plus 1, my quotient will be this much, no remainder. But if you try to find less than 7 any polynomial, less than 7 any degree polynomial, you can find this will not divide. X to the power 3 plus x plus 1 will not divide. This is the minimum degree polynomial it can divide. So x to the power 3 plus x plus 1 called a primitive polynomial. Similarly, x to the power 3 plus x square plus 1 is also a primitive polynomial. So what extra in there? Why we are talking this? When we apply the modulo mx in polynomial arithmetic, we have to pick up one mx which can generate all possible residue polynomials, and that is possible if I pick up a primitive polynomial. So mod mx should be a primitive polynomial. That's the requirement here. Similarly, if you come to x square plus x plus 1, this is also a primitive polynomial because 2 to the power 2 minus 1 is 3, x to the power 3 plus 1 is x square plus x plus 1, x plus 1, and remainder quotient will be this. If you go to x to the power 5, 4 plus x plus 1, 4 degree polynomial, primitive polynomial is x to the power 15 plus 1 because 2 to the power 4 minus 1 is 15. So this boils down to this, and if you expand it, you will find x to the power 4 plus x plus 1, x to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 plus 1, x to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 plus x square plus x plus 1, and x to the power 2 this is the expansion. So if you divide this polynomial x to the power 4 plus x plus 1 can divide x to the power 15 plus 1 is the minimum degree polynomial. It can divide. Below this degree, it will not divide. And similarly, we will get two polynomials. One is this is primitive polynomial, another is this is primitive polynomial. There are two primitive polynomial. You can find it here. Okay, so now question may come that this polynomial x to the power 4 plus x square, x to the power 3 plus x square plus x plus 1 cannot be a primitive polynomial. X to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 plus x square plus x plus 1. Is it a primitive polynomial? No, it is an irreducible polynomial, but it is not a primitive polynomial. Why? If I multiply x plus 1 with this, I will get x to the power 5 plus 1. So, you multiply, please remember, again I am repeating, our every coefficients are either 0 or 1. Coefficient of x will be 0 or 1, x square will be 0 and 1, this will be 0 and 1 and so on. So, any addition, subtraction modulo 2, and that's why I am getting x to the power 5 plus 1. As I am getting x to the power 5 plus 1, so this is dividing a degree polynomial x to the power 5 plus 1, which not satisfying the primitive requirement, that is 2 to the power n minus 1. So this is not a primitive polynomial, it is irreducible polynomial of degree 4. Similarly, you will find px, there is px equal to x to the power 5 plus x to the power 4 plus 1 is one primitive polynomial, x to the power 5 plus x to the power 3 plus 1 is another, x to the power 5 plus x plus 1 is another, and so on. So you can find series of primitive polynomials, and we will play with primitive polynomial in our discussions. You have any questions? Can you repeat? Otherwise, I will continue the GF2 to the power n algebra. Here it is the top portions is talking about polynomial GCD, what we have discussed earlier, GCD finding. It is also a GCD finding method, polynomial method similar. Now, we are interested about modular polynomial arithmetic, that is GF2 to the power n. Again repeating, our every elements are n bits. Every bit positions are either 0 and 1. Every bit positions follow GF2, and total n bit position follow GF2 to the power n algebra. Extension Galois field, whose degree less than n. This is the things. Hence, reducible polynomial modulo and irreducible polynomial degree n is required. If it is n, in modular arithmetic, I require one mx or mod or modulo mx polynomial. Mx should be nth degree polynomial, and it follow finite fields, and you can find inverse also. This is one example of GF2 to the power 3. GF2 to the power 3. Please remember, it is a 3 bits number, and our numbers here represented in this tabular form are not like earlier GF discussion, that is GF2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 3 is 8. We discussed GF8, but it is not GF8, it is GF2 to the power 3. So don't confuse with GF8 and GF2 to the power 3. This you can see here, the table, addition table, bitwise additions, bitwise exclusive OR, bitwise exclusive OR. GF2 is nothing but exclusive OR or JOR. So bitwise exclusive OR, if you look, 0 is added, we are getting all 0, exclusive OR or JOR, you will get same. This side also same. But this portion, the remaining portions, is not follow GF8, it follows GF2 to the power 3 or extension Galois field GF3 of 2. So 0, 0, 1, if I add it, 0, 0, 1 is 0. So if you look the combinations 0, if you look into 0, 0 is all diagonal, means individually they are inverse. So 0, 0, 1, inverse is 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, inverse is 0, 1, 0, and so on. So inverse is this. And you find elements of this follow either of these two, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. But though it is represented in decimal, it is not decimal. It is binary representation. Okay. So simply this is addition. If I come to the multiplication, what we'll do? Now first question will come, if I multiply, or other way around, how many polynomials we can get in up to x 3 bits up to power 2, because more than 3 cannot be possible. I have bit position 0, bit position 1, bit position 2. Bit position 0 is x to the power 0, bit position 2 is x to the power 1, bit position 2 is x to the power 2. So I can have all possible polynomials up to x to the power 2 when I am in GF to the power 3. Sorry, not power 3, extension 3. So I have possible polynomial 0. 0 is also a polynomial. All elements of this. 1 is also a polynomial. X plus 1, x square plus 1, x square plus x square plus x plus 1. That is if a binary, all 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and so on. So I have possible polynomials up to x to the power 2, x to the power 2, and this is the list. So, and similarly, so I can represent these individual elements in terms of polynomial or in terms of binary in 3 bits number. So addition, what we discussed earlier, can be represented like this. If I add x square plus x plus 1 with x square plus x plus 1, x square plus x square is 0, x square plus x is 0, 1 plus 1 is 0, 0. If I x square plus x plus 1, I add with x square plus x, these two are 0, it will be 1. Like this, because every coefficients GF2. So I will get this group and it will follow the abelian groups guarantee. Now come to addition to multiplications. Why I shifted here? Because this gives the better picture than the earlier. When I try to multiply 0 with anything, no problem, 0. 1 with anything, if I multiply 0, 0, 1 with any such polynomial, that is multiplying 1 with any polynomial, I will get exactly same. If I multiply by x, 1 become x become x square, x plus 1 will be x square plus x, and so on. And finally, when I come to from here to this side, sorry, from here, x square, if I do x multiplied by x square, that is x3. x3 means it is out of my representation, because my representation is up to x2. That means it is extra. So I require modulo mx arithmetic. Here, modulo mx arithmetic, they use x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. I have already discussed, it is a primitive polynomial. I have already shown you another primitive polynomial is called x to the power 3 plus x square plus 1. Just few minutes back. So this mx, the primitive polynomial is used here, is x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. Now, if I multiply x square with x, I will get x3, x to the power 3, x to the power 3 mod x plus 1. What will be the result? X to the power 3 mod x plus 1 will result in x plus 1. How? Can you find it? How? It is very simple, because x to the power 3, you subtract x to the power 3, x plus 1, minus x minus 1, but we use minus 1 means 1. There is no negative, so x plus 1. Similarly, x square plus x will become 1 because if you divide and mod you find it, and this is created by x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. So what we have multiplications we have created here based on the polynomial x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. If I change from x to the power 3 plus x plus 1 to another polynomial, that is x to the power 3 plus x square plus 1, then the element here that the position from here, the third row and third column onwards, if you look into this portion, ordering will be changed, but elements remain within these polynomials or these bits. So this multiplication modulo arithmetic polynomial will lead to different kind of element manipulations or finding. Otherwise, all things remain same. So if you look into this, the modulo arithmetic, what we have used, modulo mx, we have the additive inverse, we have multiplicative inverse excluding the 0. So it is a field and it works. Now it comes to the very important things here. Since coefficients and zeros or 1 can represent by a bit strings as a polynomial, we require addition is nothing but JOR. We require multiplications, shift and JOR. Let us see shift and JOR. Let us see shift and JOR in details. So I shifting from another direction. So what I am telling is that if I have this polynomial mx equals to x to the power 8 plus x to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 plus x plus 1, it is found to be one primitive polynomial and divides x to the power 255 plus 1. And if I divide x to the power 8 by mx, this generator polynomial, sometimes this is called field generator polynomial. So what I will get? I will get x to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. So x to the power 8, if I divide by the modulo this x to the power 8 and this, my residue will be this. Now question is, I have two polynomial fx and gx. Fx is x to the power 6, x to the power 4, x square plus x plus 1. Gx is x to the power 7 plus x plus 1. If I add it, I will have x to the power 7 because a singleton, x to the power 6, singleton in both of them, x to the power 4, singleton in both of them, x square is singleton in both of them, x in both places, x plus x, 0x, so that's x missing, 1 plus 1 is 0. So if I add, I will get this. Now question is that I want to multiply these two. If I have to multiply these two, this is the thing I want to multiply. If I have to multiply, let us look little closely. Instead of fx is this, what we discussed, the fx is this x to the power 6, x to the power 4, x square plus x. I am generalized form, I can write b7 x to the power 7, b6 because maximum 7th degree polynomial if it is 8 digit, and the modulo should be 8 degree polynomial, b6, c6 and so on. I can write up to b0, b7, b6, b5, b4, b3, b2, b1, b0. This is the number fx. Now if I multiply by x, I will get this number. That is, everywhere x will multiply, I will reach this number, because now x to the power 8, and x to the power 8 cannot be represented, so it has to divide by mod x, mx. If I divide by mod mx, this will be replaced by, I wrote it wrongly, little wrongly. This should be plus B7 into this. What I mean, if x to the power 8, B7 is 1, I have to add this. If B7 is 0, I don't have to do this. Why? X to the power 8 can be represented as mod mx, represent as x to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. So remaining polynomial from B6 to the power 7, we have to add this polynomial, and after addition I will get the final result, and degree of the maximum will be 7. So if I multiply this, there is a possibility I will get B6, B5, B4, B3, B2, B1, B0 and 0, B0 and 0. Sorry, I have not written correctly. B10 and 0, because 8 bit, because constant term is not here. This, or I will get up to this, the 8, and I can represent this as 0001111. This is in 8 bit representation, and I have to do bitwise XOR so that I can get the final result. So x multiplied by fx can be two scenario. It depends on B7 is 0 or B7 is 1. Now we discussed about two number multiplications, that is gx and fx. Now our fx is this, and we want to multiply. So what I can do, fx into 1 is remain fx. So I have not written here. Fx into x, I have written here. Fx into x by x. This is 1 means shift by left by 1. Shift left, this shift left by 1. That is here. Fx multiplied by x square, the second one. This is fx multiplied by x square, this position. If I do this, you can find it, I will get 1. That means I am shifting what? I am shifting this. Fx x square means I am shifting twice. That is, shifting twice means this 1 is coming out. That is x to the power 8. As it is x to the power 8, I have to add this, and finally I will get this, what we discussed just now. Then fx into x to the power 3, that means I got fx, x square fx, this, x square fx, this. So x square fx, this, I can shift by 1. So I will shift this by 1. It is here. X to the power 4 fx is x to the power 3 fx shift by 1. This is shift by 1. This one shift by 1. And if shift 1, I have to add this because this is place is 1, x to the power 8 will come out. I will get this. Next, x to the power, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. X to the power 5. X to the power 5 is nothing but x to the power fx shifted by 1. And this is this shifted by 1. Then x to the power 6 multiplied by this. This is nothing but x to the power 5. This one shifted by 1. And x to the power 7, this one is shifted by 1. So once I computed these things, these are the values. Now my multiplication is, this was the fx and this was the gx. I have only position x to the power 0, x to the power 1 and x to the power 7. So I can multiply 1 is x to the power 7, x to the power 2, sorry 1 and x to the power 0. So what I have to do, this is x to the power 7 means this one. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, your, I have this one x square is that is, sorry, x is this. So this is nothing but this shifted. So 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, and this is as it is, the fx 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, and finally after addition of these three, that is 1, this bit, and this bit, then 0, 0, 1, this is 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 0, that is again 0, 0, 1, 1, again 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So finally is this. So my polynomial will be x to the power 7, x to the power 6 plus 1. So final multiplication with modulo fx gx, I will have this. So what we got it here, we got, what we got here is what we have finally come into picture, that GF2 to the power n algebra is very simple. Addition is JOR and bit representation is 1 and 0 and multiplication is shift and JOR. So it can be easily implementable any scenario, and that's why GF2 to the power n algebra is so popular. Please remember, subtraction is nothing but additions, because subtraction modulo arithmetic GF2, subtraction is nothing but addition. Division, you have to find inverse polynomial and multiply. The inverse polynomial finding is the Euclid GCD extension of that Euclid polynomial finding, GCD inverse finding using GCD, that method. So any questions you can ask me. Class, this slide is over. This is the last slide. So Euclid algorithm for GCD is very, very important for finding inverse, and GF2 to the power n algebra is very important for our operations, and most of the arithmetics what we will use will be based on GF2 to the power n algebra, but it is in very short. If you want more, you have to sit and discuss. Okay, so this is for today. Any questions you can ask me. I am stopping the recording option.